Alright, I have 7 minutes to explain to you how dopamine control works. In a narcissistic, psychopathic triangulation environment, in coercive control schemes, in trauma enmeshment, in dysfunctional family cults. Alright, how does it work? Dopamine control. The covert narcissist uses a different strategy than the psychopath, and I will explain both strategies to you. The covert narcissist uses your parental reflexes, and don't be fooled, they are sleepers. First they study you out of the darkness and their seemingly absence. They study you until they feel ready to mirror you. In other words, they admire and envy your human traits and they study them. And they internalize them as an idealized version of you. And so they think they have figured you out then. And they will mirror it to you. So they try to tune into your frequency and they will cling on to your parental reflexes. Doesn't matter whether you're a man or woman, you're the mother of the narcissist, whether you believe it or not. And again, they are sleepers. They will only show you their true side, the hateful side, the child that behaves bad. So they are the child that misbehaves. They will only show you that after years, probably after years. So it takes some time until this sleeper gets activated, okay? First they study you and they present themselves as harmless, the most harmless victim you've ever seen. And they idealize you. That's when they start to mirror your energy back and try to cling on to your parental reflexes. But after some time, it will turn around and they will be the child that misbehaves because they want to let mama know, and you are their mama. They want to let mama know that they are now grown and big and can do everything alone. So they manipulate you via acting on this malignant fantasy. The psychopath, however, does it differently. They also study you and learn your reactions, but they rather micromanagement all your meaningful relationships and create a coercive control scheme. In other words, they isolate you without you realizing it, because more and more everything you do is in their control. They control the meaningful relationships you have. The psychopath needs you to get relationships in depth. So they are good with their superficial charm to connect to everybody very quick, but they need you to create deeper bonds, and they will then hijack them and manipulate them, all right? The psychopath also leverages power. So the covert narcissist acts on your goodness, uses your goodness against you, your parental reflexes. The psychopath uses and leverages power on one side carefully, and on the other side they weaken you. It means it's a double effect. Imagine somebody pushes you in a direction you don't want to go, and while they do this, or they leverage power, on the other side they weaken your resistances, so they gaslight you and undermine your belief in yourself. This combination, the covert narcissist using your goodness against you, and the psychopath leveraging power against you while weakening your defenses, this creates, this works as dopamine control. They do this via entraining. So they train you to abandon yourself. It's a form of self-abandonment, okay? And you only self-abandon because you are the parent of the narcissist, so your goodness, okay, you're a good person, so you have to do it, you have to abandon yourself. And at the same time, the psychopath uses, again, power, control against you and weakens your defenses. And the psychopath is also a very good chess player that breaks down the big goal that they conceal from you into smaller goals, and slowly but slowly but slowly but slowly but slowly gets closer to the goal. So it's inevitable. That's why it's so draining. So this is dopamine control via manipulation of your environment, via shared fantasy and power, and weakening your defenses. Your environment gets hijacked, so you're isolated, even though you don't realize you're isolated in the first place. But after a few years, you will realize you're really isolated now. Okay, and the thing is, the dopamine control works in a way that everything that is good for you, that helps you to self-regulate, good habits like running, doing your sports, reading, doing wellness, self-care, self-love, this is highly competitive. You know, they compete about this because they envy your self-love, your genuine ability to self-regulate. You need to understand, narcissism and psychopathy are mechanisms of external regulation. They regulate themselves via predatory parasitic tactics, and that's what I'm explaining to you right now via dopamine control. By the way, dopamine control can be translated as well in narrative control, and narrative control can be translated into identity control. These are enmeshed and seamlessly shift from one to the other. It's almost interchangeable. It's almost the same thing. So our time is already almost over. So I hope I could explain to you the differences, how they manipulate you, and they also work together if necessary. The psychopath can use the covert narcissist through triangulation, which means you're the target, you're triangulated via using the use of a covert narcissist, which means the psychopath can use the malignant shared fantasy of the covert narcissist that clings onto your parental reflexes as a child that ultimately will misbehave to separate from you as their mother. And at the same time, the psychopath will micromanage and coercively control everything that is good for you, and they will at the same time, both of them, reward bad behavior, because they kind of want to paint a picture of where you are as dysfunctional and dependent and externally regulating as they are. But believe it or not, you can leverage this against them, but only if you serve it cold to them. And you do this, wait a second, I drive somewhere else. You do this by waiting for the right moment. I learned from an ex-CIA spy that knowledge that you have can be leveraged, but only if you have the right timing to release it, so you never play all your cards. This has a double power effect, because they then know you did not play every card, you still have something to do, and you also are not as monstrous as they are, who always go all in. So they play Falcon, you play Dove, which means you lose everything, but you can leverage that against them if you don't act out. They want a reaction from you, they want you to crash out, but you wait with this and expose them by showing what they did, not by reacting to it. That being said, stay safe. I am on the grind every day. Therefore, we just had 9 minutes today, so I overextended 2 minutes already. See you in the next video.